So I found this old science fiction book club double star Robin Heinlein book, but the cover's clearly in tatters, so I want to have a crack at trying to fix her up without using any adhesives. The first thing I did was measure it out. I was missing one part of the book cover though, so I had to double the size of the last piece. I'll speed things up a little bit from here so you don't have to spend too long watching my nonsense. So what I ended up using was a protective book cover, which is polypropylene and a acid-free backing paper. So what I was doing was I'd place the pieces in, push them right up to the top as far as I could go, and then use the compression between the backing paper and the cover to keep everything in place. I did try to flatten everything out as best I could before doing this. Didn't go as far as using anything like an iron, it's just heavy weights on top of a flat surface. Everything was reasonably lined up. The next thing to do was to fold the backing paper back to match the bottom of the book cover. So what was quite helpful is the cutting board at the back has a grid pattern on the back. Using that to kind of line up the folds made things a lot easier. You can cut these folded bits off. I wasn't too stressed about it given the state of the book cover, but if you had something a bit nicer it would help. So once the backing paper is folded, the next thing to do is fold the polypropylene in place as well. I find that using your fingers to kind of get a semi-firm fold in there, making sure everything lines up properly, gives you a bit of flexibility before you put a hard crease in. So using a bone knife or a straight edge, you just push down, drag it across, it gives you your hard crease. Once the book cover goes back on, it's going to be a bit stiffer with the extra layers on top. So you find the corners as best you can and fold them in. The covering does have a bit of air in it when you first put it on, so there's a bit of adjusting and pushing and smoothing things out that's needed to get it to sit correctly. I find that once you kind of lay it all flat, leave it under a couple of books for a couple of hours to help push the rest of that air out. You're all finished. This is after a couple hours of being under a weight. Everything holds together really nicely. It would be nice if I had the rest of the pieces, but for the first crack it turned out pretty nicely. You can see here that the pieces hold together reasonably well just with the compression with the front cover. No idea how to clean up the book cover though when it's paper. Any advice would be greatly appreciated on that. Hope this was helpful.